Moving on to the next question. Technology. How is technology beneficial to us as a collective in the holistic wellness space?
Technology is beneficial for us to be able to connect with the world being in your living room. I can see you and you're somewhere different than I. And someone could be here that's
Amazing.
from France, and we could have our brothers and sisters from South America and Africa and all these different continents. They can be here with us.
And can I say there's a Black person behind that?
Yes. Well, I have to be honest, our
Oh,
melanin is so powerful. We're the beginning. We are the beginning.
we are the AI. Yes.
We are
Yes.
the AI. And so you have to digest that. We are the AI. And that's why they're
Absolutely.
studying us. So yes, having electronics and all this stuff, we have to be very careful because we walk a thin line with it. You can use something for your benefit, but it can also destroy you if you use it in a way that you should not. And to use it to tear each other down, to overconsume it, it's just like overconsuming food. You can't constantly eat.
You're right. You also said something in your previous talk about law. You
Mhm.
know, there's consequences.
Yeah.
When you do something, something's going to happen. So there's a certain order in which
Mhm.
we should also use technology to and govern ourselves accordingly when we're on here. And also say that the technology is also divine. It
It
is the
is.
creator, and it
Mhm.
is a gift for us to
Mhm.
be able to share our knowledge, exchange, learn, grow, evolve, and to use it accordingly and in balance where we do not throw Mother Nature out of harmony or out of rhythm because we're all working together collectively.
So that all what you're saying is that we should use Ma'at in everything. And so
You're
as long
absolutely
as
right.
we're using Ma'at and technology, it works. But when you step outside of Ma'at and technology, it destroys.
You're absolutely right. Those principles are on point. Now, what are the pros and cons of using new and advanced high-tech modalities in the holistic world? What do you say about that?
Okay, so some things you got to be a little specific about, right? So I'm going to go but with what I know. I was taught by Dr. Africa, old school. Old
Mm-hmm.
school is you use your own senses to be able to look at someone else and give them great bedside manner because the body speaks. And if I go through technology, I have to still have a skill of my own to make sure that that technology is correct.
A knowing. You're
Yes.
absolutely right.
And
Now I have as you said, bedside manner. I did home health aid work, and so whenever I went into a facility, whether it was a hospital or the rehab or a person's home, a cancer treatment center, I am like always, always fascinated, and then in the initial moment before meeting the client and how I would have to be to have them feel comfortable, one, with knowing that I know what I know and that they're entrusting me to follow certain protocols, but I should have a knowledge of what it is that's the matter with them and how am I going to care for them, on top of the orders that the doctor or the nurses or whoever else has actually given. So this, for me, it was really beneficial to have some of this knowledge in my head so that I can assess my client accordingly, and if something wasn't right or it didn't suit a treatment, they're coming to me. They're not going to the nurse. They're not going back to the doctor. They're not going to the family member. They're going to the caregiver. So you have to know.
Mhm.
You're
and,
absolutely right about
and
that.
can I also add to that? We should strive for preventative health. And when you strive for preventative health, there are markers that the body will show you before the disease shows up. And if you can identify the markers that the body's showing and you work on that, the disease never comes. By the time you get to the machine to look at you, you already sick. Okay?
You're absolutely right. And because I know you have a background in esthetician, I do as well. And that was, for me, there was a part where I completely was not going to finish a program because I felt there was a contraindication, after doing skincare and then going into electrolysis. I was like, there's no aftercare for this. Once you put that electricity into that hair follicle, it turns to lye. So what do you think is going to happen to those layers of skin below it? I was so upset. I was so upset and I'm disappointed. I almost didn't finish my program. So as you're saying, certain modalities are not necessarily a good thing in the holistic or in the wellness space, such as I would say personal electrolysis for hair removal.
And that is valid, but you got to have the knowledge to even understand that. You brought knowledge to that. That knowledge was not descended. You brought it. You have that.
I would sit in class and look out the window and I'm looking at the earth and I'm like, I'm not even listening to the teacher. I'm like, no, this is not right. Like Mother Nature was talking to me through the window. So this is something that came up in my spirit. So, just as I said, to have this conversation in this moment, to ask you these questions, to see where we're going in the wellness space as far as technology and how there's so many new things like, blue light, therapy, sound, color. There are all these things that are coming on board because as divine beings, we operate, or I should say melanated beings specifically, sound affects us, light affects us, frequencies, everything that we take in affects us more so than anybody else on the planet.
Absolutely. And they can be used for good if you have the knowledge. The practitioner that's actually giving you the sound has the knowledge of what sound should be used for the person in front of them. So sound is good, color is good, everything that you just named, it's good. But guess what? What we have now, when we go out and we look at the billboards, psychologists put that together because they know how to innovate certain parts of us. So we have to have a knowledge of everything that you're saying so that we can navigate.
Absolutely. So that we can make those educated decisions for ourselves,
Yes.
and for our families and for the village.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very good.
All right. So moving right along.